We are now on air.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and warmly welcome to the webinar concentrating on the next steps of the EURO-EMOTUR SME call. Happy to see a huge crowd in the webinar and happy to see fellow consortium members here, and extremely happy because we are all in Finland, Helsinki and Haaga-Helia. My name is Christian Sievers. I'm working for the Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences, and they selected me to be the host for this, as we are, as said, in our premises. But let's have a short introduction around who we are here, and starting, made a mistake, but ladies first.
Federica Montaguti from CISET, representing the Italian part of the consortium, and in particular the Venetian area part of the consortium.
Aaron Milcher from ETOA, the European Tourism Association. You'll have been hearing from me with regards to the administrative and the open call procedure, which has just come to an end, and that's why we're having this webinar today.
And this is Sergio Moreno from the University of Las Palmas Research Center of TIDES, and it's great to be here with you. Thank you.
So yeah, we have about 1 hour time, and the main invitation is to briefly tell you what are the next steps that are going to happen with
Sorry, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry, connections problems. We cannot hear you.
Excellent.
Can you hear me now? Excellent, good. And there's a lot of people coming on, which is good. So I'll just have a brief opening so that you have you can listen to us. So Christian Sievers from Haaga-Helia hosting this event webinar on the next steps of EURO-EMOTUR SME call. But I said, once again, the instructions: use the chat for questions, be active, and this webinar will be recorded and will be available on the websites of EURO-EMOTUR and as members in the consortium. But starting with the big questions first, Sergio, what is EURO-EMOTUR? What are we actually doing?
Well, I think this project is an opportunity to keep progressing in your digital transition path. So we try here to help SMEs. We try to help you in this process. How we do that? Well, first we provide basic diagnosis about your digital status quo situation. Then we keep doing some analysis using neuromarketing techniques. So in order to better know what the customer experience is in the digital relationship with your company, we also provide some customized feedback to the SMEs, and eventually we will be giving you not only guidelines but some funding in order to invest and keep improving your digital performance. So that's in a nutshell the basic idea, and eventually it ended up in a hub. What is this hub for? This hub is integrating service providers and the SMEs with the different labs that are trying to connect what your needs are with the available technology and solutions out there in the market. So that hub will provide you with benefits such as training, best practices, opportunities for peer-to-peer learning, for matchmaking with service providers, and so on and so forth. And the good thing is that even if your SME is not awarded with funding, they will have access to this hub, and in other words, they will be able to benefit from the training materials, the training content, and a lot of opportunities to network with other key stakeholders. So I think it's in a brief description, that's what is EURO-EMOTUR about.
Excellent. And of course, our website gives some more information, and we will be giving you more webinars and information sessions throughout this project. But yes, one of the things, main topic for today was the EURO-EMOTUR SME call. How did we do? Or yes, what was the results?
Yeah, indeed. The call is now closed. We closed that on Monday, just gone. And one of the reasons we're here in Helsinki together is to start that process of evaluation and marking. So I'll just quickly run through the timeline of that. So we've, in line with the scoring, which was clear on the call, we will now mark everyone's homework. So we will be doing that between now and next Friday, and then we'll have an official review of that scoring on the 30th. So we've got just under 200 applicants to review on that. So we've done really well, and a really great geographical spread, not only through the clusters that are represented by my colleagues here, but throughout Europe as well. So we've done well, especially as it was a call during the summer months, which I understand is never an easy time to kind of knuckle down to an application such as this. So as I said, we'll have our results by the 30th of October, and we'll start the process of notifying everybody. So you'll know either way by the 9th of November. We'll send that outcome via email. I think we need to reiterate what Sergio said, that whether or not you're a successful applicant for the funding, the background of this is the hub. So everyone will benefit, bar a few very minor exceptions who are completely random applications. The learnings, the sharings, and the tools in the hub will be available to everybody. But we also look forward to listening to all the projects that will be forthcoming for the funded applicants. So immediately after we notify you as a successful candidate, we will be asking you to complete a questionnaire. This is a bit more detailed than the initial application. So I think it is possible to do that in a few different sessions. So you return to that. But that will be a requirement for the successful applicants within the first months of really before Christmas. We'll be looking to complete those. And at the same time of that, we'll be sending out kind of just an agreement of your acknowledgement of what is the expectations of the program. So yeah, the initial steps will be the questionnaire and the signing off of the agreement with the program. We'll be doing a webinar pretty much immediately after that. So on the 13th of November, just after once all of the notifications are done, we'll have the questionnaire and you can give it a start. Maybe it's a good idea to have a look at that, but we'll invite you to join us on the 13th of November. And we will walk you through what we're really asking. So I think Federica was saying, in terms of what you need to have in advance, probably the most complicated element is your colleagues' qualifications.
Qualifications and background.
Okay.
And study background, but for the rest, you can easily fit it in. It takes up some time because we need to know you a bit better.
Is that 45 minutes to an hour?
45
Okay.
minutes,
Okay.
yeah, not the maximum of the testers.
So that will be an expectation really during November, and then concurrently to that, so from November probably into just about the early part of next year, a number of the successful applicants will be approached for some interviews and some observations. That's mainly around the hubs and the clusters that exist. But more details of that will be coming through as and when we progress along the way. I think probably that's nearly it from me in terms of the next steps. So that takes us up until the early part of next year. I think what will be really helpful in these early weeks and months is if you already have something in mind about your development or your training needs, that helps us to help you in terms of that process. I think a number of you have included that kind of information in your initial application, but if you have something in mind, it might not be the right path or the eventual path, but it will help us in the early conversations.
Okay, you said we can't see exactly, but we have a lot of participants there who are 48, nice. But you said we have about 200 applicants. How many are we selecting?
So eventually there'll be 100 successful funded applicants. We may just exceed that slightly in the initial application, just for any people who can't now make it as a participant of the program. So some of you, unfortunately, will be eliminated from the funding round, but as I said, the materials in the hub and some reserve people also will be retained.
Good. I see some statistics. I noticed that Italy has the most applicants. How did you manage to get so many Italian companies involved here?
Well, applying different strategies, I have to say that the regional governments for the Veneto cluster and business associations helped us a lot to disseminate the news around. We had a help from Spain, really, for Central Italy during a conference. Sergio let the people know that there was this possibility. And then I hope that it is a quite known brand all over Italy. So I hope that helps a bit to trust us that it was worth to put in an application and work with us. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent results on Italy, and we had tougher competition than in football with Spain. But I think in the final numbers, Finland had a bit more applicants than Spain, which is always. This is cooperation, but some kind of competition is always nice, and I'm happy on concerning Finland that we really have widespread inside Finland. So we have companies from south of Finland up to north of Lapland, and really in addition to good number of applicants, the quality and the variety of companies is really interesting. So it really serves the benefits and objectives of this project. You came third, but do you have any comments on the applicants in Spain?
Yeah, just a reminder that we have 3 clusters in this project. One is Finland, then we have a Veneto region and Canary Islands. And because of the requirements of the European Commission, we need a minimum of SMEs per country, because the idea is to have a small cluster so we can work together with, and they can also cooperate, peer-to-peer learning, and generate a seed to keep growing and evolving in this digital transition path. So I am happy to be third, because at the very end, what we're trying to make here is to connect all those clusters to merge and generate that transnational learning through digitalization. So that's the main idea.
Yeah, and to be bit teasing, but yeah, the idea of tourism industry in Spain is a bit bigger than in Finland. So we are happy that we get a bit more support to compete on that field as well, especially with the current football results. But going back to the next step in a way, that yes, financial support has been mentioned, and still highlighting that all of you present here and listening to this, once you have applied, you are part of our project and you get the benefits. But Alan, could you please briefly explain that for what purposes the money can be spent?
Yeah, so as I said, this might link with back what I said. You might have something in mind and bear that in mind. But in relation to the list that I'm about to very quickly go through, because I think it's very important to be clear from the offset exactly what we're talking about in terms of not only the procedure of the funding, but also what the eligible activities are. So really, fundamentally, they're about development and training, I think, is the kind of really the headline elements of that. So running through in no particular order, we are talking about support for travel and attending courses that are relevant, access to those events. They might be digital tourism focused, cross-sectoral transnational cooperation events with that technological theme, participation for those events, coaching and mentoring sessions for the kind of studies and the feasibility conversations that we'll be having with regards to your projects. Software licenses are applicable, attending trainings again, and that's online as well as in person, and then really the development of digital solutions, platforms of knowledge, expertise sharing, and then the creation of content as well. So all of that will translate then into the types of technologies and trainings where my colleagues are much better to describe than I am. But that's really the overall theme of the funding, that we're looking for development costs, for training costs.
Yeah,
Not hardware.
yeah,
Is the important.
yeah, that's good. But I think it's really a wide variety of things that money can be spent on and used, and which is a great opportunity for SMEs and also for us to help each company on the way they need to be developed. But it also, and sort of, and if we have to say, it demands a little bit of patience from you. So once you get the notice of that you are selected, the money will not be on your hands in the next day, because we need to plan it together, make sensible use of the money, and then many of you have individual way of doing it, and that's important. But time is something that people asked. So what could you roughly say that how the process is going on the time-wise, that on the 9th we will the applicants know who's are selected? When would we see progress in the when the funding can be used for the project?
Well, the idea is to get a first series of steps together with the company. So as you said, we can agree on an action plan based on the first analysis we are going to conduct with each business, and to their aims in conducting the neuromarketing analysis, and also the general aim in improving their performance in this or that aspect of their business or their digital marketing activities. So we are going to agree on an action plan. And on that basis, we will issue a voucher, so not real money, no bank transfer at the beginning, because these are the rules of the way we are sponsored basically by the European Union. So the companies will need to anticipate the money, so spend the money, and then we will refund it on the basis of invoices basically, and some support material like tickets, other invoices, if they pay the digital provider with that money. So this is how it's going to work in terms of funding, and nothing too heavy to work on, but yeah, we will need some days, yeah, some days, yeah, but nothing to sweat about, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
we'll add something up.
And I totally right. And I believe that funding part actually is not the most important part of this project.
Yeah.
It's an additional help to keep evolving and improving. But the good point about this project is that you can connect, increase your network, increase your visibility, increase your promotion, your internal process, and you get in touch with a bunch of very top service providers with labs that are performing cutting edge research, and they will be applying that research to your company. And eventually you get a customized report about your company, and also some valuable guidelines to keep improving in the coming years. So I think that's the most important part. And the opportunity to connect with your peers, I think that's also great, because you can share your concerns, learn from others, best practices, and so on. So I think that's very, very valuable.
Should we just reiterate the likely timeline for that? So I think I covered the initial stages of notifying successful applicants and the start of the analysis, which I think will then take us into the very early part of next year. And then could you maybe explain thereafter, we're thinking probably spring, late spring is when those recommendations will be ready and packaged in order for the funding element part of the stage to kick off. I don't know if you have any more intel on that, or that's just the rough calendar.
Yeah, that's the rough calendar. So up to February, we will conduct these first steps and get to the action plan. And from at that point, we will start also a bit overlapping to in February. We will start also with the neuromarketing analysis, which is another interesting part, maybe the most interesting part of this project, and this will go on for 1 month and a half. Of course, we will try to adapt a bit to the calendar of each different kind of business, because somebody might have a very tough calendar in the winter time and the better in spring, or vice versa. So we will try to adjust, as Sergio said, each action plan is customized, and we will get in touch with you to agree on the various steps. So every step will be agreed with you. So no particular will be created and personalized on each business needs, basically. And then after the neuromarketing analysis, you will have your report on what you should improve and how in your website or whatever digital channel we decided together to analyze. And we're also starting to work on the app, and so first of all on the digital providers to get on board at that time. So you can also you have your action plan, you have what you need to improve at this point, and you have a pool of service provider that can help you on this, and you can choose on. So and which is a wide pool because it's a lot of different countries, so you can also choose from a different environment than the usual one, which might be very interesting and useful.
Excellent. Yeah, and sort of one of the reasons organizing this, as we said, that the whole ended, but it was one step in this long process, and we were really happy to have, I said, a lot of applicants from and participants in the hub from different countries, and we wanted to show our faces that you know who to contact and how to do it. So Finland, Spain, Italy, and then for the rest of the things, we will inform more precisely who's going to do with which of the countries. But we have we will help all of you, and we will help you with the detailed information. The idea of the webinar is that you will not get the detailed information. We will email, and it will be available what to do really precisely as soon as the selection is done. But yes, assessment, analysis, learning, and so on. So Sergio, you talk about neuromarketing, and we talked about it. So why is it so important? Why would you? Why?
I think that's a relevant question, Christian. Yeah. The point is that we believe that there are two main trends that are changing our industry: artificial intelligence and neuroscience. Because we always talk about customer experience, and yeah, we all agree on that. At the end, the important thing is how to improve the customer experience. Well, in order to really get to know that experience, we have to understand what happens inside, because we cannot provide an experience. So basically, we render the experience and we generate the atmosphere to make it happen. So traditionally,
espera un momento que cambie ahora que se vea más oscuro.
Yes.
Somebody disagree.
Well, it was I think they want to fight.
We are with.
Mamma mia. Ciao.
For instance, attention. So we, with eye tracking, for instance, we can analyze if your website, if your newsletter, if the pictures you're using, or the content about your product is really engaging the customer, your customer, or not. We can analyze if you're generating arousal or not. In other ways, do you generate any emotion? Is it a positive emotion? What kind of emotion? So we can analyze this. And with that information, you can improve your content, your website, your newsletter, your videos, whatever. And basically, that is what neuromarketing can help you with, to better performance and to get better results.
Excellent. Good answer. Not even though somebody objected, I think that's a good answer. But yes, to the audience, please use the chat for questions and comments. We are happy to answer them as well. But Federica, I think one of the things in here that neuromarketing is important, like Sergio said, but it has to be connected to the business, the things that we do, and it has to be sort of the right size of things that we're doing. So how would you set the aims of the assessing and analyzing the companies on other sides?
Yeah. Well, we will provide this kind of analysis, of course, but we will provide the companies also with more thorough, in a way, analysis of their approach to innovation and how digitally mature they are. And so they will have also small reports on how they are working in this moment with regard to digital innovation, but also how ready they are to take in new innovation. And this often does not depend on the investments you make, but how the gear works really. And so how if the human resources are ready to take in innovation. There are various cases, and we know that when you introduce or spend a lot of money on ICT or some kind of technology, and then nobody uses it, or you end up that none of your employees want to use it really, or maybe it makes their work worse or longer, and so, or you need training and for them to use it. So it is not only a matter of which technology you have, but how these are really embedded in the way your business works. And so we will provide this kind of analysis as well, and maybe some recommendations on how to make it work a little bit better and make it a little bit more innovative and or ready to take in innovation and be so-called early adopters.
And they get a self-assessment tool, right?
Yeah, and at the end, we will do this together with 100 selected SMEs, but with this first analysis will develop into a tool that will be available for all the SMEs in Europe, because it will be free, and can be used on a platform and provide immediately the results.
Good. So a lot of benefits coming to Norway. Do we have some questions?
Yes, we have one very basic question. It was coming already during the time that you were discussing the funding for the company. So what is the project timeline? How long the project continues?
Good questions. Yes, that's fixed. We will be finishing the project by January 25.
Yes.
So
2025.
Yeah, and so roughly speaking, that the
1 year and
1 year from here, and for the work in the companies with the funding, roughly 6 to 8 months, starting from April to the end of next year, and that's about it. But the as said, customized company will have their own things based on the needs and so on. That's the At least mine. Agree on that line, yeah.
There's no options there.
We appreciate the communication between ourselves and the successful SMEs will be paramount. So whether it's you need assistance with the questionnaires, or you just have a query about your own timeline, your own business seasonality and HR, we will work around that as much as possible in order to fit within that quite relatively strict timeline that we have next year.
Good. Any other questions? That's from the audience. Okay, but let's have a final remarks, your greetings to the many participants here. And on my behalf, I want to congratulate all of those who have already joined the EURO-EMOTUR hub and cooperation with us. But Aran, if there's some final message that you would like to spread for
yes, I think I heard a good number of people coming in throughout that. So I'll just go back to what I opened with in terms of the initial action. So as we said, scoring and marking of all your applications starts now for the next 2 weeks or so, and we'll have our final review on the 30th. Thereafter, so between the 30th and the 9th of November, we'll be letting you know of your status and your success or otherwise. And then immediately after, we'll be asking you to complete quite a detailed questionnaire, which you need to set aside around 45 minutes for. So there'll be the initial steps in the coming weeks. So do keep in touch. We're available for any questions.
Excellent.
Well, my remark is, if you need anything, any kind of want us, let us know. As many of you already know from the dissemination of the call moment, we are always available to answer questions, support you with a questionnaire, and clarify the various steps. In any case, we will get in touch immediately with each of the businesses that will be selected. So we will be there just after the 9th of November and call each of you to fix a moment to go deeper if we know each other already, or to get to know you, because some of the businesses that presented the application we know already, sometimes very well, but some of them are completely new for us, so we will need to get in touch and come to know you. Yeah.
And the final conclusions or remarks.
Thank you for your application. We're very happy to have you on board, because it doesn't matter what the result is. Remember that you all are part of the hub, and in that hub, you might be having questions about, what is neuroscience? I mean, what is that eye tracking thing, or that emotional response has to do anything to do with my company? So we will have webinars, we will have training on that. We will have presentation of all the technologies out there, a technology mapping, showing you what the opportunities are for your SME, presentations from those service providers. You will have matchmaking events where you can connect and keep learning from them what they can offer you. You can also show what you do to other peers, to other SMEs, and connect internationally with other partners and stakeholders. So I think it's a great opportunity, and we're looking forward to start to work together and keep doing better. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, and as said, this is international. There's a lot of different types of activities doing. Some of them will do, and most of the working language will be English, but we will also be organizing sort of activities which are only for Finnish companies, etc. And really happy on my behalf as well that you all applied, you all are here, and those also listening later on, stay in touch.
Yes, there was a question online about the recording, and I confirmed by writing that it will be, the link will be provided to all SMEs that
Yeah.
have applied. Yes.
We'll send it to all the applicants as well. Any other questions? Comments? Read things. Looking at the screen. Okay.
It seems everything is crystal clear.
So thank you for your time. Let's stay in touch. And as said, our contact information available on our websites, and happy to have you on board, and even happier to continue the cooperation with you throughout the EURO-EMOTUR project. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.